Our devotional thought from Proverbs today deals with something we don't like to talk about. It deals with the characteristics of the wicked. Now this requires a little bit of meditation. If you're going to understand wickedness in people and wickedness in the world, you're going to have to spend some time meditating on this just a little bit. I want you to notice, first of all, the characteristics of the wicked. In chapter 10, verse 2, it says, the wicked arrogantly hunt down the poor. All right, so that's their first characteristic. They're arrogant and they hunt down the poor. They prey on the poor. Secondly, they're always searching for helpless victims. Verse 8, waiting to murder innocent people. Okay, so they're also hunting down innocent and helpless people. Now, the wicked are fairly easy to spot in life because they're predators. Now, there was no predator in this world before the fall of man. Okay, even the lions and the lambs laid down together before and will again in the millennium. There was no predatory instinct. There was no predator in business. But you can obviously recognize a wicked person very simply. Their arrogance. They hunt down the poor. They hunt down the innocent. They're searching for the innocent. And they try to capture, like hunters, they capture the helpless. They don't pick on fights with somebody their own size. They hide and hurl. Okay, they hide behind things. They hunt down the innocent and the helpless. Their words are very easy to recognize. Now, look at verse 7. Their mouths are full of cursing, lies, and threats. Trouble and evil are on the tips of their tongues. Verse 3, they brag about their evil desires. They praise the greedy and curse the Lord. Now, their words, out of the abundance of the heart, this is what the wicked speak. They brag about their evil desires. They brag about their drinking. They brag about their womanizing. They brag about their sexual exploits. They brag about their evil desires. They praise the greedy, people who are greedy. And remember, greed has nothing to do with prosperity. It has to do with wanting something that you have no right to. So they praise people that are trying to take away things that belong to others because they don't want to work for them themselves. You know, lazy people are often some of the greediest people you will ever meet. Now, they praise the greedy and they curse the Lord. But it's more than that. Their mouth is full of cursing. Their mouth is full of lies. Their mouth is full of threats. And on the tip of their tongues, there's trouble and evil. Now, when you start seeing the predatory instinct, and when you start hearing words like this, understand you need to back up in a relationship because you're dealing with a wicked person. Now, their thoughts. In their hearts, Proverbs 10, verse 4, they're too proud to seek God. They're not going to come to a prayer meeting and pour their heart out for God. They're too proud to get on their knees at an altar and cry out to God. They may want to hang around church because there's a lot of, there's a lot of innocent people around here. There's a lot of helpless people around here. There's a lot of naive people around church, but you're not going to find them hanging out at the altar digging into God. You know, they're the kind that stand around with their hands in their pockets all the time, okay? They're too proud to seek God. And then verse 6 says, they think nothing bad will ever happen to us. We are free from trouble forever. They think there's no consequences for their actions. They actually believe that they can do what they do, and there are no consequences for their actions. They think, verse 11, God isn't watching us. He's closed his eyes and won't even see what we do. This is what they really think. Now, why do they think like that? Well, earlier I taught you that sin is confusing. Well, this is part of it. Now, the stumbling block for me and you is in verse 5. Yet they succeed in everything they do. Grabe talaga. Like David, sometimes you look at them and you go, I don't get it, Lord. Yet they succeed in everything they do. But now listen to the rest of it. They do not see your punishment awaiting them. They sneer at all their enemies. They sneer. I don't like people that sneer. Whenever I see people sneering, I back up on them. People who sneer, they're showing you something about their hearts. They don't see punishment awaiting them. Now, this is like David. And sometimes your heart and my heart is like David. Go, God, why do they get away with this? When will the God of all the earth do right and bring justice? God, how do they get away with this stuff? And you realize, like David did, he said, God, I almost stumbled. When I saw that they succeeded in all they did, God, David said, I almost stumbled. He said, then I came into your house, came into your presence, and I understood their end. Brothers and sisters, never judge the end by what's happening today. Sometimes you're just going to have to understand God is merciful, God is gracious, God is good. Otherwise, all of us would be in hell already, diba? But there does come a time, God's wheels of judgment grind slowly, but they grind very fine. Leave them alone. One day, if Jesus tarries, you'll look around and you'll see the end of the wicked.